Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Crystallization. Now, it's been a while, I feel like, since we played a willpower puzzle, and it just occurred to me. So I was essentially very purposefully looking for a willpower puzzle today, and lo and behold, Tuesday, is when he actually publishes one out there. Now, it's got a 91% rating already, as of the time of recording. It does actually also have a new variant that we've not seen before. If you haven't guessed it, it's all about crystals. Now, I actually created a different thumbnail. Then I read the first line of the rules, which says, grow crystals in a laboratory, and I ended up having to redo it. And you can see Sleuth there, growing crystals in a laboratory setting, as one does. Of course, Will spelt it with a Z. We're not going to hold that against him. He's a fantastic constructor, even if his English could do with some improvement. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets and see what is this new variant all about. With Crystallization by Willpower, right, fair enough. At least on the thumbnail I kept the S. Over here it's, it is Will's puzzle, it is with a Z. Don't hold that against me. So, we're growing crystals in a laboratory. And somehow that means normal Sudoku rules apply. So place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. That is fairly standard. Then we have the following. We have seed crystals that are in green are the given digits. Seed crystals green are the given digits. And then pink pills are the sum of the two pills or circles below them. Pills are read from left to right. I'm going to try and... So we don't... Oh yeah, we do have circles. Okay. Right. So the pink pills are the sum of the two pills or circles, such as these ones, beneath them. Okay, I think I've got it. So essentially, yeah, let me just double check. Yes. Right. So these two cells, they're essentially a two-digit sum for the following. I don't want to call them 4 digits. They're essentially two-digit numbers. So 2-digit number 1, 2-digit number 2, add them all up, you'll come up with a sum that needs to go in here. And it actually cascades all the way up. So these two cells and these two cells, well, this number, this 2-digit number and this 2-digit number, their sum is up here, etc., etc. Interesting. Okay. Pills are read from left to right. We've got that. KROPKI pairs, numbers with a black dot between them are in a ratio of 2 to 1. So essentially, if this cell is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that essentially one cell is double the other. Explicitly, Will is saying not all possible dots are shown, so 2 with a 4 in here, clearly in a 2 to 1 ratio, clearly without a black dot, not a problem, negative constraints do not apply. Right. Let's see if we can grow some crystals. As always, link will be in the description down below for you to do so, as in to enjoy this and play this yourself. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Took me a couple of minutes to wrap my head around the rules. So, where am I going with this? You see, because these are two-digit sums, even if I absolutely make these as small as possible, I still have a 10 number, a 20 number. In fact, it's an 8 as well. So, best case scenario, this is going to be a 30-something. Can't even be 30, can it? Because it would require a double 1 to get to 39. So realistically, we're already at 40 at a minimum. Now, if I strive to minimize everything with a 1 in here, and again, I'm going to have the same problem because of these 8s and the fact that I can't have 0. So no, hang on. I mean, so this is going to be always 40. Let me just think this through. Essentially, like I feel the fact that this is still a 2-digit number, despite summing all of these, summing all of these, summing all of these, summing all of these, this is like quite a feat. So my natural inclination is essentially to absolutely minimize this and see what is the minimum I can put up here. Bearing in mind that even if I get to a 9 in here, this can't be 7 or 8. This is a maximum of 96 right now. This can't be 80. This is a maximum of 70 something. Even if I minimize this with a 1, as in this is a 12, this is a maximum of 60 something. So you see, like, there's clearly quite a few constraints that we're discussing here. Shall I just do some obvious things, such as the fact that this is a 2-4 black KROPKI dots, 3 unique digits. So black KROPKI dots, quick reminder, it's 1, 2, 4, 8, or powers of 2, 3, and 6. And essentially, if you have 3 unique digits, because they're all in the same box, you can't use 3 and 6, there's only 2 of them. You have to use 3 of 1, 2, 4, or 2, 4, 8, with 2 and 4 clearly being in the middle there. Now, it means that because these are 1, 2, 4, 8, or 3 of them, this cell is definitely 3, 6. And it may actually be helpful when we're thinking about what's going on in here. So yeah, it very much proves that this is going to be a 40. Where am I going with this? So I need an 8 up here. You can see Sudoku says no 8s in here, no 8s in there. That's the only place for an 8. That's 8, that's 4, that's 2. Lovely. Very high chance that's the 1, by the way, given we were discussing kind of this setup in here. So without an 8 in this row, we know that one of these is going to be 3, 6, and one of them is going to be 1, 2, 4, with a definite 2, so either a 1, 2 or a 2, 4. And because this is not 2, 4 or 8, this is the 3, 6, this is the 1, 2, 4 with a definite 2, and this is the 3, 6. Lovely. Fairly sure I can't put a 9 in here, because that would be 98, and then there's no way I would be able to do 2 cells. And I think if I put a 9 in here, even if I minimize everything with a 2 and a 1, I'm going to end up with over 100. So no 9, no 9. I'm very tempted to say that's a 9, but I don't think that's true. I think I can legitimately place a 9 in here, but I can't. If I put a 9 in there, they add up to 17, and this cell would have to be 7. So 9. Right, we've massively restricted what these cells could be now. Now, I'm fairly sure that I need to save the 1 to try and minimize things, probably in here or in there, one of these 2 cells anyway. And then I'm left with 7, so 1, 7, and 5 is essentially the most likely digits that I have in here with a 2, 4 pair. Admittedly, of course, I could still have a 4 in here, but I don't think it's that legitimate. Now, we can probably go back to what I was doing when I first started the puzzle and actually thinking around what's going on with this massive, I guess, set of crystals. Right, so let's focus on minimizing. We'll keep in mind that 1, 4, 5, 7, and then just focus on minimizing. Now, if I make this a 1, I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble. Kind of. In the sense that obviously would have to be 2 or higher. And then that would end up being 3. So if I place a 2 in there, so I think a 2 in there is just legitimately a bad idea, because it will make this a 1, 3 pair. And I think we're going to start to rapidly run out of space. So if I just work on minimizing all of these, I just want to see if I can actually fit it in here and just understand how many degrees of freedom we've actually got left. I'm sure the mathematicians amongst you can probably spot a more clever way of what's going on in here. 2 is in one of these two cells because of the reason I just discussed at Sudoku. Because of the reason I've just discussed, if that's a 2, one of them is going to be a 30, so I think that's a bad idea. So let's assume that's the 2. Let's assume that's 1 and 3. That's the minimum I can do based on what I've been given with these 2's. So 13 and 28 would give me 41. Now you can see this is already quite a large digit because it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm already at 5. I've broken the puzzle. Because now I'm adding 41 onto 58. And there's just no way that's correct. Unless the meaning in seed crystals, in brackets green, are the given digits. No, like I'm just wondering if these two cells is adding up the 8 rather than the 58. And I just don't think that's how you're meant to interpret it. It very explicitly says pink pills. I'm not getting the significance of the green. Let me put it that way. I'm genuinely not getting the significance of the green. Seed crystals green are the given digits. Pink pills are the sum of the two pills or circles below them. And the circles, I think, is just purely referencing this. So the pink pills are the sum of the two pills or circles below them. So like I've got to sum up these. Of course, I don't have to make this a 3, and I'm fairly sure I don't want to. You see, the problem with if I made this a 3, this ends up being 4 and 1, and then this ends up being a 5, and then I've busted the whole thing. Now, I'm fairly sure that's going to be a 4 because of the restrictions we spoke about earlier. But I almost certainly want this to be something else, like not even a 5, I can't fit that. Essentially, I want to save the 1 in here. So I'm adding 18 plus 40 something to get to the next level. That's essentially the minimization that I can do. Now, this is still quite a large number because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. Minimum here would be 45. 45 and 18, minimum in there now, we're talking about 60. I really feel like I'm in trouble, by the way. Let's remove the 5 just so we don't worry about it. And then if I make this a 1, the minimum now I can make this is a 7, and then an 18, and then remember that can't be an 8, so this is definitely a 9. Right, now to try and figure out what these digits are, in essence, is kind of what we need to do next. I feel reasonably comfortable about writing in these ones, by the way. I feel reasonably comfortable about writing in this too, given the fact that if I, do something silly, for example, like put a 2 in here, and then 40, whatever it is, I mean, it can't even be a 2, it can't be 3, 4, we're already at 50. So this has to be a 2. Sorry, this has to be a 1. And because this is a 1, that can't be a 1. And you've seen already with all the restrictions, that has to be a 2, this has to be a 1. Now, 4 with a 5 would still make this 60. So 4 and 6 feels like the absolute minimum. Now, if this is 5, this is 3. If this is 63 and 12, this is 75. And then 75 and 18. And so far, I don't think I've broken anything, by the way. Actually, can I even get to 45? What would this be? That would have to be a 7. That would have to be a 9. 63 and 12, that would be correct. That's 75 plus the 18. That's 93. So actually, with minimizing everything, I only have 3 degrees of freedom. So what I am going to do, because you can see that 3 degrees of freedom, that they don't really touch the second digit. They don't really touch, sorry, the 10-digit number. Admittedly, the 7 with a 3 would make this a 20, but, can't be a 2. So we're going to remove these cells for a second, and I'm going to just write in all of these. And then with the 2, 4, that is forced to be a 5. I don't think that can be avoided. And then the 75 and 18 does make this a 3. So this is 93. Interesting. And then working backwards from that, the 75 take away the 12 does give me a 3. The 63 taking away the 18 does give me a 5. The 45 take away the 28 does give me a 7 and a 9. So it's actually the fact that we've pencil marked row 6 that's forced the 5 and then the 3. Interesting. 1, 2, and 8 means that this is a 3-6 pair. That's 3, that's 6. Excuse me. So what have I got left? 4, 5, 7, 9. You can see 4 and 5 are not here, so this is 7, 9. That's a 4, 5 pair, except that's not a 5, that's 4, that's 5. This is a known digit, that's 7. These two cells are now 9 in here and 5 in there. We need now 1, 7, 8 in here. That is not a 7. I'm just, like, I think, not picking up on the fact of just how helpful having row 6 pencil marked was. I'm just going to, unusually for me, I appreciate, finish as much Sudoku as I can before I try and tackle this set of crystals. Right, 3 in here gave me 6 and 3. These 3 cells are known. They are, well, that's not a 1. And obviously that can't be the 1 because they would add up to 9 and this is a 2-cell sum. So the 1 has to be in here to get to a 10, in essence. A 10 2-digit number is what I'm trying to say. And then I've got 2 cells in here which are 5 and 7. The only way I'm going to get to something that works, because 5 and 8 is 13, not 17, that's the 7, that's the 5. Does that resolve anything in here? I don't think it does. Fantastic. The 1, I mean, we don't have the same level of restriction, so, you know, can't even assume that this is a 2 anymore. Right, where do we go from here? 1 can only be there. 2 can be anywhere in here. I need a 4, which could be any of these. And then lastly, I need a 5, I'm going to say, which is just these 2 cells. You know, no 5s here. Now, it means that there is another 2, 4 plus a 9. Can't be in here. 98 plus whatever this is not a 2-digit number. So that's the 9. And this is 2 or 4. It's not a 4. It is a 2. These are not 2s. That is the 2. 28 and 15, we can just do the maths now. This is 43. And then 43 plus whatever this is a bunch of numbers here. Pencil mark this next. I need a 4, 7, and 6. In fact, the 6 and 7 are a pair, and that's a 4. That's not a 4. 7 actually gave me also a 9 and 7. That was there from the beginning. That was a given digit. And then the 7 bounces back and gives me the 6 and the 7. Lovely. Right, we can make our lives a bit easier by pencil marking all of these. This is, I know, quite the departure from what I do normally, but I think new rules require different take on things. And then these 3 digits are 1, I mean, I can see the 9, 4 and 9. That is not a 4. That is not a 3. Just these 2 cells. Right, we have another 4, 5 in here. And then something else, a 2. So 2, 4, 5. I kind of don't think this can be a 2 because this is a minimum of 27. And this would be, if I put a 2 in here, this is a maximum of 26. That's not going to work. So that's not the 2. That is the 2. That's not a 2 anymore. That's 4 or 5. Can't be a 67 to get to 45. You know, sorry, 4 something, 5 something. So that's got to be a 2, which removes the 2 from here. Then we have another set of 1, 8, 9 and a 5. That's not a 5 or 8. So this is a 1, 9 pair. Did I get that right? 1, 5, 8, 9. Yeah, and this is not 8 or 5, so this is 1, 9. That's a 1, 9 pair. That's an 8. That's a 5. These are not 8s, that's a 1-7 pair. Right, that can't be 96 because that's not going to be a 2-cell sum anymore. So that's 1, and then 43 and 16 gives me, I'm going to say 59, which gives me 4. Hopefully all of the numbers add up, 16 and 27. So that's going to be 43. And I think we can legitimately say we are like done, aren't we? We just wrap up with a bit of Sudoku and we're good to go. That's the 1, that's the 4, that's the 9. That one gave me 7 and 1. I mean, these are probably resolved. Yep, 4, 5, 1, 3, 6. Yep, 6, 3, 2, 4. Yep, 3, 6. No. Let's keep going. I need in here a 6, which can only be in there. No, I already have a 6. I need a 7, which can only be in here, and then an 8. Then I need, well, I don't know where the 3 goes here, so let's leave that 3 and 9. I know where the 9 goes, and the 3, and therefore the 6 and the 3, and the 2. And if I've not made any other mistakes other than the silly typos or bad scans, 6 for the finish. Beautiful puzzle, Mr. Willpower. 17 minutes, I'm reasonably happy with that because, you know, I did spend a bit of time thinking about this and the constraints it places before just doing the sensible thing and going for the familiar items. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.